Hey there, another short video lesson for you here on comparing decimal numbers. As we're comparing decimal numbers, what we want to do is we want to look at, and we're going to decide, is it going to be less than, greater than, or equal to. So remember that this symbol is less than, and this one is greater than. Okay, so that's key. We got to have the right symbols and know what they mean. So as we're going to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a number and I'm going to put it directly underneath and line the decimals up. I want to line up the decimals so that I can start to compare the numbers. Then I look at the left side. To the left of the decimal, 5, 5, they're the equal. 9, 9, they're equal. 6, though, is bigger than 5, right? So at this point, everything after that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters right here is that 6 is bigger than 5, or 5 is less than 6. So that means that since this one is less than, that means I want the less than sign there. Let's do another one. Let's look over here to the right. We're going to drag 6.321. We're going to line those decimals up. Again, remember to line those decimals up. And as we're looking at this, we're going to see that they're the same. 3 is the same. 2 is the same. But then there's a 1 here. And that makes me think, well, what's after the 2 here? After the 2, since there's nothing, it's a 0. 1 is bigger than nothing. That means this is greater than, and so we want to use the greater than sign. All right, so we use the greater than sign because 6.321 is greater. So now I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to drag this 4.38 underneath 4.380, and I'm going to go ahead and look. After that 8, there's a 0, and let's see, they're the same, they're the same, they're the same, they're the same. So that means these two things are equal. All right, what I'd like you to do is pause the video and you try with 7.87 and 7.875. Pause the video and give that one a try. All right, so if you move the 7.87 underneath of it, we start to see that the 7s are the same, 8s are the same, 7s are the same, but 5 is bigger than nothing. So that means that this number, 7.870, is less, and so we want the less than sign. All right, let's try this again. Here we have 9.667, and we're going to drag that underneath 9.6666666, and that dot means it just goes on and on and on. And so as we're looking at these, same, but here, this is where they're different. It doesn't matter what comes after. Right here, the 7 is bigger than the 6, so that makes this greater, which means that we want the greater than sign, not the greater than words, the greater than sign. Okay, so one more. You pause the video and try the one down in the bottom, 0.3 ... which means 0.333333 and 0.3. So if you bring this down over here, you end up getting a whole bunch of 3s, but then here you have a 0. That means that right here we can see that the bottom one, the one from the left, is bigger than 0. So this is greater, which means you want the greater than sign. Okay, so that's how we compare decimal numbers. Now, when they're negatives, negatives make a difference, because remember that when something is on a number line, right, like if we have a number line, and you have 0 here, -1, -2, things to the left are less than, which now means when the number is negative, bigger number actually means less, right? So as I compare these, I look here and I see that right here, that 4 is smaller than 5, or 5 is bigger than 4, which means that the bigger one which the bigger number is 5, is less than, or the smaller number 4 is greater than. So it's actually the opposite of when we have positive numbers, right? So it doesn't make a difference when they're equal. Let's take a look right here at negative 2.840, right? So if I put a 0 after here, we see they're identical, right? So those things are equal. Now let's look at what happens when we have it right here. Let's see. I put a 0 at the end there because they're the same all the way up until then. And look, this one is smaller, which means since they're negative numbers, they're actually greater. Because the reason it's greater is it's closer to the right side, the right end of the number line. All right, pause the video and try the next one. All right, so if I take negative 4.67 and move it over there, and then I put my 0 at the end, we see that this one is the bottom one, the one we moved is bigger, which means it's less than. So I want the less than symbol. All right, here we go. Let's take negative 5.25, let's move it over there. And as I see this 5 is bigger than 0, and so therefore I want, just kidding, not greater. I started to write the wrong thing. Less than. So I want to move the less than symbol in between them because negative 5.25, it's a bigger negative, which means it's further to the left on the number line, making it less than. All right, your turn with the last one in the bottom right corner, negative 6.39 and negative 6.389. So if I move that underneath, I can see right here that the 9 is bigger, which means that this is less than. So I want the less than sign. All right, so remember when you're dealing with negatives, it's backwards. The bigger number, the less the number is because it's further down the number line to the left. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to 7th grade IXL and you're going to do lesson D2. Now I'm pretty sure they're all positive numbers in there, so we're not going to have to worry with the negatives as much right now, but you will later on. That's why I showed it to you. So you're going to do 7th grade IXL. Your full credit goal is 100, but remember 90 is an A, so that's not bad. Then you're going to watch the next video. So 7th grade IXL D2, full credit goal 100.